and I'm sick, so I probably can get rank 1. Previously on Dragon Balls in my mouth, we were at 578 LP, and then I got sick, so, you know, excuse my voice if I'm doing this video and you hear kind of a weird, you know, plugged accent in my nose. I don't know the words to it, but I think you guys understand what I'm trying to say. So yeah, I play Nunu, you know, he's still OP kind of, and I gank bottom lane. What's new? Well, I mean, the path I usually do is top side the bot side, and that's why I kind of go bot side, but it is honestly just really weird for me to just keep camping bot lane in all of these Nunu games. Honestly, I guess that's a good tactic, but it's not something I plan. It just kind of happens. And so look how much health I have. I have to tank this tower so they can finish him off tower. They don't have heal. I tank as much as I can, and then Caitlyn starts tanking the tower, and then oh, as you can see, this dive went really well. They also missed a lot of CS, I think, but holy shit, this was actually a little bit too close for comfort, and we're actually pushing this wave again so this minion wave can crash into the tower. Now this is something I want to do, you know, these little setup ganks. So basically, look how Brand is moving. You can see he's definitely going to the mid lane. I know this is not warded because it's too early in the game for anything to be warded. So once he appears around this wall, that's when I can strike at him and, you know, take him down. I ping my mid laner to let him know that, you know, this is happening, and we do get a kill on him. These are the kind of things I have to look out more for, these little planned ganks. I'm usually just spontaneous. I react to anything that's happening on the map, but this one, I just kind of thought about it, and I was like, oh shit, we can definitely make this happen. This is also how you control the map, and how you kind of look for these early game opportunities. As in this next play, I also see a low hit point Scion with an Echo in the top lane, so I have to tank this tower first. Here's a mistake I do as Nunu. I didn't ward his blue, I warded that bush, but the thing is I was walking around the blue buff. I actually should have warded that because there's a chance that Lee Sin might appear to this counter gank. And if I do see him on the minimap, I can react to where he is on the map, so, you know, I can figure out my next move. The next move here is to push the wave, of course. Now in this one, I'm not sure if I had to flash here. I don't think I had to. Unless she had flash, then maybe I had to, but, you know, we always go for that kill secured and the 4-man mid-roam gank. Now a little later, a little team fight is happening in this little lane. I spell Brand because, you know, kill secured, and then charge my ultimate just for zoning. Honestly, I just use it for more zoning than, you know, charging it up. And then I thought we were winning the team fight, so I actually go back in, but I didn't realize how poorly the team fight was going for us. So it was a little too late when I backed out. Now I see this Lucian kind of caught out, and I'm like, okay, let's do it. But then I'm like, no, we can't do this because there's so many people on the way and we have no one coming here. So we're in a really sticky situation, but Echo actually goes back in. So I'm a little confused about that. He actually does get out, but he's very low. And I actually stuck around bot lane because I thought people were going to come to help save the tower. But, you know, obviously I was kind of wrong. And I get 4-man gangbanged under the tower. And yeah, oops. I guess, you know, I should have dished the tower since no one was coming. A little later, we have a Scion kind of, you know, very up far front. I decide, hey, let's go for this Brand. I have a lot of movement speed to catch up. And now I channel my ultimate just for the zoning on the Scion. But I do make a mistake here. I don't snowball him for whatever reason. I don't know. I thought he wouldn't get the Nami for some reason, but that was just an oopsie. Now a couple of throws later, my team's getting picked off a little bit, and I'm seeing if we can get a pick on this Scion, although he is very beefy. I channel my ultimate behind the wall because they can't see me, and I actually get Lucian pretty low, and Echo actually picks him off, but we don't get the Scion, so that kind of sucks. But it is a good delay for us. Anyways, we actually get the dragon off this. I don't remember how we got Lee Sin, but someone did. And my team actually does a play on their bot lane, and I just come in for a little sneeze. So we actually get the bottom tower after this. Now in this next play, you know, we have to ward our sides just in case Lee Sin does a little kick on Caitlyn, so we have to be careful of that. Also, it's a 4v5 right now. And right after the Orianna ult catches us, we have to immediately back out because we know if we fight this is a lost team fight. So what we're trying to do is kite it out. I'm trying to just zone them off my team. But maybe this ultimate wasn't that beautiful. I don't know. Tried sidestepping the Lee Sin Q, but it does catch me, and Lucian gets a... Oh my god, the Q actually hits me. Thankfully, my team can actually hold them off Baron, so they don't actually get it. And right here, I just put down the ultimate, you know, to zone people out. But then I see an enemy front line is actually diving onto our back line. So I go immediately to peel mode, and like my goal in these team fights is to peel for only Caitlyn, no one else. Also, I guess this is the game where I explain Triforce Nunu and I guess going Guardian Angel. So from my experience when I went Triforce, it was kind of fun, but the thing is my team had damage already, so I don't need to build it, and I couldn't build Titanic Hydra because I don't know. Basically, I just feel very untanky and not really a kick-ass bruiser. I still think full tank is good in this elo, but if you're like playing in lower elo, then maybe you can go Triforce Titanic Hydra, but I'm never going this build ever again. It's so like, it's not worth. This next game I played Janna, but basically I don't know, our whole team was getting shit on. This is also like my first game of the day, but like if I had known that we had a master tier jungler, I definitely would have vouched for going for jungle, because I was like the highest elo person in this game, so I had to be the one to carry. Unfortunately, that's not really happening this game. And then our Vi actually decides to go AFK because every lane lost. So he kind of opened mid. A lot of us still wanted to play. He's back in this clip because, well, I don't know, just wants to try something fun. But we do get a few kills and like a few comebacks, kind of. They're just kind of throwing a bit, you know. We need definitely like more throws to come back in this game, but basically it was definitely not happening in this game. So yeah, we in AFK, you know, I do the report thing, and then I make my way into the next game, and I do a little something on Orianna, but you know, the thing is, I go back in here because I'm like, ooh, I better give him a kill. The worst part is I actually could have suicided because Orianna didn't actually touch me at all in that little play under the tower. And then I go to the top lane, I'm like, oh, nothing to do here, and then I die. Obviously a flash was useless there. And then I'm going to my jungle, but I found a bug in my jungle, so I'm a little caught out. Thankfully my team gets a little kill on Kha'Zix, so we do get his shutdown. But then finally we get some breathing room because we get a catch on Kha'Zix, and then we get a catch onto the Orianna. So right here, we're actually in really good shape if we get these 2 kills, and then, you know, a Bard actually appears. But I have like a back thought in my head saying like, yo, this is a little bit greedy. I think we should just take the win and then, you know, try doing that again. But oh shit, I'm like, oh, maybe we can get this Rumbo. And I go for him and channel my ultimate for the Zhonyas. Then I get stunned, but I'm not sure by what, because there wasn't a minion behind me. But nevertheless, a bad play, and our team was definitely really hypey about that. 2 kills on Kha'Zix and Orianna. But now I remember that, you know, if we are behind and you get 2 picks and you're kind of low, just take that win and, you know, try doing it again. Anyways, I'm pretty tilted because of the Corki just constantly bitching everywhere. And I know this is like a tilt play because I was just super annoyed. You know, I say sometimes I don't get tilted, but this is where I get tilted. You see, when I'm sick, I'm pretty annoyed. But I'm not tilted yet, but unless you add something like bitching or something to annoy me even more, then I might get a little tilted. But yeah, I knew at this moment that I was like, I definitely didn't have my head in the game. You know, like that High School Musical song. So I try and get my head in the game after this tilty play, but I think it's a little too late. Someone pings Dragon, I follow, but obviously it's not a good call as they have enhanced recall, home guard, you know, a lot of movement speed to get around and control the map. But I just went with the flow and listened to whatever. But yeah, it seems like it's a little too late for, you know, a comeback. And we lose some of that juicy LP. Alright, so that was one bad jungle game. You know, I think it's really funny when I said I quit the jungle, and then when I play the jungle, I do, you know, kind of good, except that last game. I find that really funny. No, actually I really don't, because it doesn't make sense. But I guess taking the jungle a little bit more chill is good because I don't care too much about it. But apparently that also makes me a better jungler. I have no idea. Maybe it's just Nunu. Either way, I'm going to say I'm a jungle and support main, but, you know, I queue for support unless the jungler is needed, then I will play jungle. Or if the jungler isn't as high and is like, you know, Diamond 1 or Master, then I will ask for the jungle. Otherwise, I'll just play Janna. Or, you know, hopefully Taric if the right team comp is given. But yeah, those are the ways of how I decide if I want to play jungle or support. Oh, also the mistake I make here is I thought my team was dead because Kha'Zix appeared, so I was like, screw this. Then apparently Kha'Zix fucked up, so I went back in, kind of. Anyway, so I see a lone Jhin in the bot lane, and I think I can 1v1 him because I have done it in the past. So I was like, sweet, this is an easy kill for me. He does flash out my ultimate when it's fully charged though, so that actually did kind of outplay me. And now I'm just trying to smack him dead and, you know, ice blast his face, trying to get a consume on a minion. But then he has heal. I'm like, oh, that is definitely a possibility. I think if I knew his flash was up, I definitely would have, you know, canceled my ult a little bit earlier. But, you know, what can you do? Now, in this game, the reason we can do this Baron is because we have so much map control. You can see we have so much wards, enemies not even coming to contest. And the thing is, also Kha'Zix like DC'd, and we kind of finally realized that a little bit later because we haven't seen him for a while. So yeah, free Baron for us. And we finally get some of that juicy LP that was definitely well deserved. In the next game I play Nasus, and yeah, I start Wither first to catch out this guy who uses flash. And you might be wondering, why am I playing Nasus? Well, I was put in the top lane and I was like, ooh, Nasus sounds like a fun champion and kind of OP right now. And I mean, he sounds easy in lane, right? Just farm for the rest of your life. Oh, but nope. Nope, nope, and nope. I tend to forget that, you know, having no mobility or defense makes you die a lot. And with Maokai and Kha'Zix being in the area, of course, that's an easy kill on me. Why was I so stupid? As you can see, I am being completely dumpstered. And as you can see, I am feeding right now, but once I see a little skirmish going on, I teleport in, and the only thing I do is actually just wither, but that's besides the point. Now the only good thing I do is this. And you know, despite being really behind, I didn't realize I could be this tanky. Look how tanky I am. It actually takes more than a Kha'Zix doing 1Q to kill me. He actually takes quite a bit to finish me off, and he actually dies from a tower. Now I found that really interesting. Also, this Ezreal is actually kind of well, he's very behind just like me, but once he eased into me, I'm like, oh shit, he kind of fucked up there. So yeah, actually take him down. I don't think he was gonna win. He shouldn't win, but it was fairly close. I guess he also did have the red buff, so that does count. But still, yeah, that 1v1 was kind of close. Oh, and what do you know? I am feeding again. And now the enemy team does Baron. Now, a lot of people are actually dead. And I'm just waiting until the Baron gets to like 4,000 health, but someone keeps pinging me in. So I'm like, okay, I'll go in. But after looking at this, I definitely should have gone at like 4,000 health, even maybe like 3,500. That's too low though. But yeah, going in at like 7,000, not a good idea. But I did listen to my teammates, and I died for it, although I did learn that I'm really tanky, so that's kind of cool. But as you guys know, I feed, and then I lose. Goodbye some of that juicy LP. Now in the next game, I decide, hey, let's stop feeding and let's play some of that Hecarim. I'm also a little sad that they took my Nunu, so that's why I picked him. I think I did kind of screw up the early game clears of Hecarim, because I started top side when you're supposed to start blue side and get the blue buff, and that's why you see me having the Hunter's Potion, which is something that you don't usually buy. But a few Hecarim games later, I actually kind of do some research on the early game clear path for Hecarim, and I think I see an optimal clear path for him, as I did some research and I saw what other Hecarim players were doing in their first clears, which hopefully I'll use and see how it turns out for me. So like right here is actually a pretty dangerous situation. It's actually a 2v3 right now, but soon to be 3v4. You can see Victor's here, even Jace is here, and oh my god, it's just so many people are actually getting away, and no one can just finish them off. They all have such slivers of health. And then I do this. I thought I could kill him right here, but my E was not fully charged yet. But thankfully, Twisted Fate's Q actually lands a kill on him. I'm kind of upset because like 2 kills were gone, but that 1 kill, oh, thankfully, we did get that kill. Now you can see here a random Nunu is in my jungle. I was like, what the fuck? Okay, that's really random. So right when he does this, he's basically caught out, so we just catch him out and kill him. Then we have an overextending Lucian, then we just burst the shit out of him. And then, ooh, I see a Zyra, so I just ult onto her. I tried and save Talia, but it's a little too late. And now you might be wondering, what the hell was this play right here? Pants, what were you thinking? Well, to be honest with you, I thought it'd be kind of funny to do that and try something cool. It was kind of funny, I'll admit. Well, only to me. But we just have such a lead that I just don't care. Also, the mid laner AFK'd, so it's like a 4v5 right now. And again, if my voice is super monotone right now and there's no emotion that you can feel, it's because, again, I am sick right now and I have a very sore throat in my throat. So since I have a throat in my sore, I'm just annoyed just talking in general because it kind of does hurt. So I do apologize for that. And now for our final game today, I get ganked as Janna. Now if there's one thing I learned from this clip, it's that I should use my ultimate way earlier when Kha'Zix jumps in, because maybe, I probably wouldn't have lived, but you know, for future interactions I'll definitely remember to do that. Also, I did know that Kha'Zix was in the jungle at that time, so I actually should have definitely ditched the tower. I thought I could save it and maybe bait the enemy team into something like a tower dive while I shield it, but that's definitely not what's happening there. Oh, and that Zyra, by the way, is Blank from SKT. I don't know why his name is Vine Timo, but okay. Now in this game, we're actually having a lot of trouble. We're actually severely behind, but then the enemy actually keeps kind of throwing. I mean, look, this Poppy, this teleport was definitely really bad. I do not know what she was thinking, but she went in 1v5 and gave us some shutdown gold. But then a little later, I back into a really bad position. And look, I even start typing. And then I'm like, oh yeah, that wall was warded. I totally forgot. But anyways, if the enemy team keeps throwing, this is actually really good for us since we do have Olaf as a tank. Caitlyn does outscale Ezreal, and Victor outscales Cassiopeia, I think because he has longer range with his E. But now finally the enemy team actually rushes down the Baron because they have a Kha'Zix and Cassiopeia. That's actually really good for Baron, but Olaf misses a smite, which is, you know, you can't do that against a Kha'Zix. That's just super hard to do. But now we're just going to clean up the enemy team as they are getting off Baron. And yeah, we're just cleaning them up, although we do trade 3 for 1, so we do actually lose that trade. Plus they still have the Baron buff, but my team actually finds some picks around the map, and now we are definitely trying to trade before the enemy team can push with the Baron buff. This Cassiopeia is ghosting for some kills, and she actually tries to initiate with a flash ulti, and then I flash out, and then she gets popped. super hard. And so what's going on at this point in my head is that this Victor is actually super fed, and our Caitlyn isn't too fed, so I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna protect Victor and make sure he's not gonna die. He's the one who's gonna carry, so I'm just gonna stick by him throughout every team fight and also around the map. And yeah, I mean, also the enemy team keeps going into us one by one, so we keep cleaning them up. I don't know if I could have saved him if I ulted right there, but probably could have, to be honest. I mean, I don't know, it's hard to say. There were grievous wounds on him. And I do engage on this Cassiopeia because I do have exhaust, so she's also another freebie for us. And then again, the enemy team rushes Baron because, you know, they can do it super quickly. And I didn't notice, but Olaf got outsmited by an Ezreal or something. I don't know. Kha'Zix wasn't even in the fight, but I'm ulting right here now just to heal up my team and make sure they don't die. But then, oh shit, I didn't realize this team fight was going poorly for us. We actually lost our Caitlyn and Aurelia somehow. So we have to back out of this one unless we want to risk losing Olaf's GA or like even more objectives than just the Baron. But this Kha'Zix jumps in, but he does outplay the Kha'Zix by, you know, flashing away and actually catches the Cassiopeia. Now one thing I don't understand here is how did Kha'Zix jump away when he just jumped in like 5 seconds ago? Is he maxing out E? Or does he have 40% CDR? I'm not sure. But we eventually do get the Poppy, and then now you can see we actually win all these team fights if we play it properly. Even if the enemy team has Baron, that's how powerful we are. We're super powerful. I do apologize if my grammar is a little weird right now, but you know, when has it ever been good? That's right. You know what I got in English? I got a C+, and I fucking hated my English teacher. Fuck that fat bitch. But anyways, as you can see, our Victor is legendary. Now right here, we try to zone off the enemy team off the Elder Dragon, and we're just kind of poking. They have actually 4 dragons, and then all of a sudden this happens. So if I actually do that closely, that's a Tiamat, Stalking Blade, Q Midair, Leap, and Unseen Threat. Alright, I guess that burst does 2000 damage. I didn't think that could happen, but okay. Now I just watch this team fight on row as I have a gray screen in my face, and guess what? We kind of lose. Whoopsie me. And then my team is watching the Elder Dragon, and Caitlyn gets it with the Runon's proc. Actually, it could have been an auto attack, but I don't know how far Caitlyn's range is. But if they did get the Elder Dragon, only 3 of them would have got it, and they have like 4 dragons right now, and it definitely would have been a pain in the ass to deal with. But honestly, where does it say that Elder Dragon gives 250 gold? I don't see it on the Wikia, but holy shit, that's like really good, and I don't actually see it anywhere. Like if you Google Elder Dragon gives 250 gold, nothing pops up. I'm pretty sure a lot of people don't actually know this, but if it happened twice already, I'm definitely getting 250 gold off Elder Dragon. And that's definitely worth knowing if you play this game. I just found out, I guess today. Well, more I've confirmed it today. But yeah, we aced him and we get some of that juicy LP. Oh yeah, also one thing that was pissing me off was I was losing 20 LP and gaining 17. Like this usually happens and it's very weird, but if you go AFK for about like 5 or 10 days in the ladder, somehow your MMR decays. I'm not sure, but if you ask anyone who, you know, is in Challenger or Master, I think that's where it happens the most often. If they go AFK for some time and then they come back and play some games, they will actually lose more than they win until their MMR gets back to where it was. But yeah, also this is going to be the end of the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. On the next episode of Dragon Balls in My Mouth, some bad shit happens, so make sure you stay for that. And if you guys did like this video, make sure to leave a like, and if you didn't, make sure to subscribe. Anyways, I am Pansar Dragon, and I'll see you guys next time, and hopefully I won't have a cold.